Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're with us this morning. We appreciate your viewership. As always, let's get started with our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. And pretty comfortable today because high is 57, low is 51. Not much movement there in the temperature chart. Our water temperature brought to us by Miss Ariel Payne's company, Maranta Marketing. It remains at 68 degrees, pretty steady the last couple of days. River readings brought to us by the good folks at Panama City Coca-Cola. We got a little bit of action now. Take a look at Apalachicola, Bluntstown. It is it's going up a little bit. It's at a 3.2, so it's up not quite as low as it has been, but nothing like the Choctahatchee at Caryville. Check it out. Man, it's going up. That looks like the price of gold chart right there, going up like that. It is at a 4.1 this morning and still on the rise. So that's some good news for everyone, including little snails and all the little creatures out there in the sloughs. Been waiting for some of that water to come up there to them. Okay, the tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Good strong tides. Looking at a low tide at 6:49 this morning, high at 8:08. It's been some pretty good fishing recently. I've seen some good pictures and talked to someone the other day. Wind direction be northeast at about 10 to 15. Got a little bit of rain coming later. I think you've been watching the weather, so we'll just talk about it more in detail tomorrow when we do our famous Friday fishing forecast. So let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I know a lot of y'all enjoyed yesterday's show as much as I did, having little Miss Chloe Crunwell on the show, and her dad Josh, and she wants to make a career out of outdoors, and it's really refreshing to see that. At 10 years old, she knows what she wants to do, and like I was saying, these universities now, especially Auburn, are offering degrees, careers in outdoors. So keep that in mind. If you got some young people interested in it, we're going to try to get some folks on. I've talked to some other colleges too. So anyway, moving on. Tuesday when the show was on, we had tornado warnings, and when they come on, all the TV stations, they come on and they make a lot of noise. But it's so important we get that information because we want to be aware. But at the same time, it would drown out some of the things I was talking about. I got tickled. I didn't get to. So someone texted me if I replay one of the little stories I was talking about, and I said I sure will. And wondered what he wanted to. This story right here. Okay, this is the Confederate war veteran at 106 years old. He shoots a deer up at Eglin. Okay, so Bill Lundy. Okay, here's a picture right here. First of all, this in the old days, this is where you put your deer. You just put it on the front of the car. And you took them out of the woods and put them on the front of the car. And that's how you took them into town or took them home. And it looks like an old double-barrel gun. But I read the story. I always get fascinated. I read it word for word. And it's 6 point, fell by an old-timer. But he was Laurel Hill, and he was about 140 pounds, but there was not the animal was checked at Fire Tower, Okaloosa, but he interviewed him and said he'd been a deer hunter his whole life. He was sitting in his hunting chair, and the buck ran right out in front of me. And he said, I shot him right between the eyes. He was accompanied, the last paragraph, he was accompanied on the hunt by one of his sons, Dan Lundy, at age 69. So he said, anyway, so the story, I love those little stories like that. Then I started, the deer in Eglin is a really, talking about stories, it's a really interesting story how the deer in Eglin came about, because what happened, in fact, Captain Roy Ray and his family, his dad helped bring some deer in. During the Depression in the 30s, this was 1934, so they were shooting a lot of deer then for food, really, and they about wiped them out. So they brought in, during World War II, they shot a lot. In the early 50s, they brought in more deer into Eglin, and Captain Roy's dad, he took a trailer to Texas and brought a couple of deer and released them. And Captain Roy, I always am fascinated with that story. But Eglin Air Force Base was so blessed to have that big of an area. So when I read a story like that, I start thinking of Eglin. And I remember hunting it when bow hunting first became popular in the early 70s. David Barnes and I would go there and hunt. And we ended up in a place we weren't supposed to be in, but it wasn't posted like it is now. But we saw a lot of deer, and the reason there's a lot of deer because we were close to the flight paths, and the MP sort of informed us of that. It was a funny story. They were real nice about it. They said, "We're not supposed to be over here, son." I said, "Okay, we won't." Well, thank you. Here's a quick story on Eglin, just for your information. I know you really want to know this. This is right here, named after. This is right here, Lieutenant Colonel Frederick Eglin was killed in 1937 in a plane crash. So that's how the name Eglin Air Force Base came about. I bet you didn't know that. But it's really cool. It's 340,000 acres. And before that, it was a Choctawhatchee National Forest. Who brought that about? Teddy Roosevelt. But the War Department, they took it over. And you can see the spread out here. Man, I just love it. Great, all kind of outdoor stuff to do there. And of course the famous thing, Doolittle Raiders, of course they trained there for their Tokyo raid, and they trained right there, Doolittle Raiders. Cool stuff. Eglin has a great history, and just a great place to actually, you can fish and hunt, camp, and all kinds of things there. Okay, now starting back with the pictures, I want to start on this one here, because this is a big deal. Kelly Petty, up here in Hosford, okay. This is caution light. This is a red light in Hosford, Florida, okay? It's not a caution light anymore. This is a red light on Highway 20. They have it working now, and it's actually been a caution light there for 20-something years. And finally, they have a red light in Hosford, Florida. Never thought we'd see that day. Okay, look, this weekend, December 6th and 7th, they're having, this is Latin long tracking and cyst big game recovery. This is second annual youth doe hunt. The weigh-in right there at DOA Wild Game Processing on Veal Road, and that's a good thing they're doing. All kids who enter a doe to get weighed will be entered in a gift basket raffle. So they're doing a good thing right here. Appreciate them doing that. And one more really quick. How about this? Jumping on fishing. Josh Riley over here. Look at here. You don't usually catch one of them right there at the jetties. Good job there. And let's take a break. I'll come back and talk about this right here. Okay, welcome back. Glad you're with us this morning. If you watched outdoor TV for a good while, you know you had Red Holland, and also there's a guy down in Port St. Joe, Clint Moore, did a show, a great show out of fishing out of St. Joe Bay for a long time, and he and his brother, the Moore family, some of the original settlers there, way back his family were, along with Simmons Bayou, where the campground and everything is. So Clint is just an amazing fisherman. I saw them. Their property's right there where the Hunt's restaurant is, right there in Simmons Bayou. So that's their property. He has a pontoon rental now, but he's made a living off the bay, and they've done a great job with it, and have some good prime property there, and good family, good folks, and I enjoy seeing them when I get down that way, which is as much as I can. So anyway, Clint posted this the other day. Their family made a living off the water, and back then, way back in the day, you know, you had these big gill nets, you could catch mullet in the fall. Well, the law changed where that gill nets were outlawed in '94, but it still left a little segment in there where you could have a smaller net, I think 500 square feet. But anyway, Clint posted this the other day. I just want to, let me see. This is, he's at St. Joe State Park. He's out in front of the cabins there. And these are little kids now. These are folks staying out. So they pulled a little net out. This is a microsm of how the big net used to be. But this is a net. And you see the mullet, they're bringing them to shore now. This is so good. They have the waders on. And these kids are staying at the cabin up here. They don't know them, but they're just watching these guys out here working the net. And I thought, this is cool. You don't see much anymore. And the thing about something like this, you catch a lot of fish, and you share them with your neighbors, your friends, and everybody gets a bunch of fish for the weekend, and they get to eat. But this, okay, see that guy right there on the left? He got his left foot holding down. What they're saying, the lead line, the famous phrase, and we used to do this, keep the lead line down. Keep that lead line down, boys. Keep that lead line down, because the fish will go underneath it. So yeah, that's why you keep your lead line down right there. And I really appreciate Clint for posting this. And he was talking about how those kids were just getting so excited watching it, and they're bringing in fish. And they gave fish to the families there in the cabin, and then they took some back to and gave some to their friends, and all fresh mullet. And this time of year, now you can imagine that on these huge nets, how many mullet they used to get. And it's a good way to catch food. And back then it was so important. But it's right in front of State Park cabins at St. Joe State Park, and they're getting them closer and closer. Now what's funny, right here toward the end, these little kids, they're all excited. So they're going to come up here, and they see it takes some manpower to handle all of that. And you're talking about, you just get all kind of, okay, there's the folks at the cabin watching and taking pictures, and here come the kids, look at them. You think they're excited? Look at there. They've never seen anything like it. They're going to have, they're doing a Thanksgiving break right there, so you think they have some stories to tell. So anyway, that was a good job, Clint, and the big thing about doing stuff like that, it's a win-win. You get a lot of fish, and you get a lot of enjoyment out of it. Okay, now I want to get back to our pictures. Let me see. Right here, tag out. That's what I'm looking for. Now, these folks don't really talk to me that much. Not that it's bad. I mean, nothing wrong with not talking to them. But the UF extension agent up there, and I'm an alumni of Florida, you think, but I don't hear a lot of this stuff. I pick it up off the internet, and this is where I found this. It's called the UF extension agency. It's called a Panhandle Tag Out. It's a white-tailed harvest challenge, and they're welcome to come on the show and share this information. I don't know if they don't think about watching the show or what. But they're giving away 2 Florida lifetime hunting licenses for kids, all kind of values. And anyway, it's all Florida hunters, and you can tag out. So anyway, this is something good. The prize drawing on the bottom line is going to be March the 10th. And what they do, you just take it in there. The mission is to encourage deer harvest, specifically those in the Florida Panhandle, to alleviate deer pressure on agricultural crops while teaching and encouraging conservation-based hunting. Okay, so you got all that. All right, so anyway, we'll try to keep y'all in touch base on that. All right, Mitzi Prater, a good friend of ours. Mitzi Prater, his little grandson got a nice buck over Jackson over the holidays. Good job, Jackson. First deer kill. He's excited about it. Got the blood on his face. He's all excited about it. And has some deer meat. All right, there's a better picture of it right there, blown up. Good job, Jackson. Okay, this is a funny story. That's a sledgehammer. Okay, here's a sledgehammer here. Let me tell you a quick story. During the, I normally don't take a picture with a sledgehammer, but during the Thanksgiving holidays, Mason was over, and I had my old sledgehammer, wooden handle, and I was busting up some concrete. The handle broke, and it was my dad's old sledgehammer. So you know how it was 50 plus, 60 plus years old. But I've used it. You don't use them all the time, but when you need one, you need one. So I broke it, and I went to Home Depot and got another one. But that's why I sent Mason a picture of my new sledgehammer, because I finished. Here's what I was doing. I'm busting up concrete right here, and you can see I sent this picture of Mason because I just had some old place had some old concrete. I busted up, and it's not a wood handle. See the handles on them? They make them a lot better now. So I got anyway. I just wanted to share that with you. Everybody, that generation, his generation, they don't understand what a sledgehammer is. He never really heard the term. He got a kick out of it. Okay. They're talking about Mississippi memories. Okay, pulled pork. This is at a store now. Live bait, pulled pork, sliced meats, hoop cheese, and souse. And we're going to talk about souse at that bottom right-hand corner. Souse is just something special. You don't see much anymore. Karen Connor, Brother Connor's First Baptist, his wife. Look here. She said, we were walking to our truck, and here in our backyard was this beautiful eagle. How about that? Is that not cool? Anytime you get an eagle close to your yard, that's cool. This is interesting. Tennessee is reintroducing the red-cockaded woodpecker, and they haven't seen it since 1994. It's going to be up in the Cherokee National Forest. Been going like 30-something years, but they're going to try to introduce them. I think that is so cool to do things like that. Well, our buddy Ryan Spitzer, who graduated from Mosley and then Cumberland Law School, and he's just a great young man. I really think a lot of Ryland Spitzer. He had a good Thanksgiving weekend. That was a nice buck, Ryland Spitzer. Okay, how about get back to Liberty County? Mom and son, they double up. This is Colt and Wren Redmond up there in Liberty County. Not bad for a mom and a son. And you can tell he looks like his mom, don't he? Okay, all right. Let's take our final break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a quick look at our fishing game time today from Blue Water Outriggers. How about 10:15 to 12:15, right in the middle of the day, and tonight 10:48 to 12:48, about right there 12 hours. I'll tell you really two quick stories. One's not a good story, and one's a really good story. The first story, we're talking about a duck hunting that Mason and his buddies went on when they shot those bluebills. They spent a lot of time building that duck blind on the Friday before season opened on Saturday. And you saw the pictures, and they just had a grand time. Where they had two boats, and two of the boys went back out the other day, this past Thanksgiving weekend, and they were going to go up in the duck blind. They got there early, that dark, of course, and the boat was sitting there. And they said, "Sir, we put this blind together, and we built this blind, and the two guys in there were just really ugly to them." They said, "Well, we got it now. It don't matter what." And they didn't argue with them. They were nice young men, and they said, "Well, we spent a lot of time putting this duck blind together. That's too bad. We hunting it now." So that's ugly, and that's not what a good fellow outdoorsman do. If somebody builds a duck blind, you don't take your boat in there the next 2 days later and oh look, we found a nice one. But anyway, that does happen, and so I don't even know who they were. Don't want to know who they were, but I want to make sure our viewers aren't that kind of people. Okay, look, got his toy drive coming up. Okay, this weekend, Drew Pollard's been on the show, and I got a lot of response from it, and the party. Okay. Saturday, okay, here's the party. It's going to be a Gulf Coast air conditioner there at Southport. Bring an unwrapped toy, and they get a great response from this. Last year, 750 kids, and it's going to be right there on Franklin Avenue in Southport. Now, they're more. Jenna, his wife, she's got it put together now. The first couple of years, we just flew by the seat of our pants. They did all the work, but now Jenna, she sends out little questionnaires to schools, and the kids fill out what they want. And he talk about some sad things, what they want and what they need. So she sent a copy. Okay, right here. This is not sad. Okay, a 5-year-old. Okay, and ask her what she needed. This is her Christmas wish. Okay, isn't that bad when a 5-year-old wants a blanket and a pillow and bed sheets? Is that not sad? And then Jenna asked what I need, and what I really want, of course, she wants a Monster High doll for Christmas. Okay, but anyway, I just thought there's a big need in our area for young people to get some Christmas. But when a 5-year-old says she needs a blanket, that's sort of sad. So anyway, here's a story here. Talking about duck hunting. This is over on Mississippi River. Anyway, their boat capsized, which is not hard to do on a lake and all, where there's winds blowing. But they were rescued. Some of the other duck hunters saw them. They called 911, and they were able to save them. This is up on the Mississippi River, up around Minnesota. But the 911 call came in. They sent the sheriff's office out there. But see, you worry about hypothermia. That's a big deal there, hypothermia. This girl here, they want to turn this into 750 acres of solar panels. Folks, these solar panels is flat and ugly. And this is the area they're talking about. This is in Florida. No, it's not. This is in Tennessee. This is in Tennessee, I remember. So this area right in here, they want to put solar panels in it. So isn't that sad? Okay, so that was close from yesterday. Like I say, these solar panels, just to me, they just, the one over on Highway 20, I was told the one on Highway 20 up there close to Bear Creek, that power is going down to Tampa. Does that make sense? But that's what they swore. That's what they've heard too. So anyway, getting back to fishing. This time of year we catch a lot of sheephead, and a lot of times you get a sheephead or drum. They look a lot alike. This picture right here, the black drum and the sheephead. You see the stripes. They're very similar. The sheephead thicker, and this person I was interested in reading what the results were. This guy said, which one is the best eating? And right away, I'll tell you right away, the bone on the bottom, the sheephead, is a good tasting fish. The black drum sort of me has like a little muddy taste, so I don't eat black drum. Then I read all the comments, and everybody sort of agreed with me. The sheephead is a lot better. Okay, so here, let me tell you this story here. This is a great story. This is one of our viewers. Hey, Coach, I want to read this to you. This is really good if we got time to get it. Hey, Coach, I want to thank you. You drew my name 2 weeks ago for the mullet plate at Jeans. It was great. I saw the show today. And we belong about the hunting and fishing clubs. We belong to a club when we lived in Richmond, Virginia called Jones Landing. It is on the James River in the city limits, and it's a half mile from our house. We were there a few weeks ago visiting, and got some Brunswick stew. It was great. It said it brings back memories, and just a great time. So here it is. So this is David Roberson, and he's living here now. David Roberson now living in Bay County. Also, there's a picture of a blue cat they caught, and it was 75 plus pounds. So anyway, this is his trip back up there. Let's see. There's a Brunswick stew. Does that not look good at a fish camp or a hunting camp? Man, Dave, thank you for sharing those pictures and all. What a beautiful place there. Look at the ducks. And look at this 75 plus pound catfish. So that's so we were talking about, and we wanted to share the hunting and fishing camps, and he sent some pictures too. And they were all over the South, in the woods and on the water, these old camps, and all many, many fond memories and good stories. Ran out of time today. Tomorrow we have our famous Friday fishing forecast. We'll be giving away some seafood, so y'all be tuning in. Y'all do something good for your fellow man today. You have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors, and let's take care of it. And God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.